to make that fleece wet and make all the ground around it dry. Do you know what dew is? Not homework. D-E-W. It's kind of like a mist or a rain or whatever early in the morning. Sometimes if you go out real early, you'll see drops on the grass. That's dew. So he thought this was a pretty good test, because if dew falls on everything, yeah, some of it will hit the towel, but how are you going to make the ground dry? I don't know if he got much sleep that night. So he wakes up and he goes out, and sure enough, the Bible says when he wrung that out, it came out like buckets of water out of the towel. And the ground around it was dry. Scientific proof. This is a messenger from God. Well, wait a minute. Let's rethink this. Towels are supposed to absorb moisture. That was a pretty dumb test. Tell you what, Lord, let's do the opposite. I'll lay this thing out, and tomorrow I want the towel to be perfectly dry, and I want the ground around to be wet. Next morning, that's what happened. So now he believed that this was actually an angel talking to him and not something that just came out of the internet. And so he did. He raised an army. Anybody know how many people were in that army? 35,000 Israelites. 30,000, somewhere in there. Sounds pretty good, huh? How many were out there around them ready to take all their food? Anybody know? You can beat them. Not too hot, huh? Okay. Okay. I'm not getting along well with electronics either. Okay. Then Gideon was told to tell these 32,000 something fairly astounding. He said, anybody here scared? They know the odds. Tell you what, if you're scared, go on home. 22,000 of his 32,000 took him up on that offer. Now the odds are 1 to 13. Well, the 13 are like 13 Conras and still just one of you. Then God tells his now army, that's quite dwindled down to 10,000. Here's what I want you to do. Take them all to the stream and tell them you get to take a break, have a drink. Now, he didn't tell them the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey would say, but he watched. And he said what he saw was almost every one of them got down on their hands and knees and started drinking out of the stream with their mouths, much like a dog. He said, send all those people home. The people who kept their eye on the horizon to see if the enemy was coming and picked up the water and just lapped it from their hand, he said, those are the keepers. How many did he have left? 300 against 135,000 well-armed. But these were the brave ones. These were the alert ones. These are the ones we're going to fight. God says he's going to help. That's 300 against 135,000. That's now one of you against 450. That would be like each kid here taking on not just all the grown-ups in this church, but all the grown-ups in 6 or 7 churches like this. One person against that many. Not exactly a fair fight. But God had a plan. Now, what you need to understand, back then, like we do in the Army today, you have someone who's over a whole regiment. How many people were in a Midianite regiment? Somewhere between 1,000 and 5,000 soldiers. And their captains would lead them, usually with a torch and a trumpet, and they would follow their individual leaders. So Gideon had a trick that I believe God told him to use. He said, tell you what, give every one of your 300 men, give every one of